Hey everyone, this is Dr. Alicia, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join me for another episode of Dr. Alicia's Med Talk. Whether you're a long-time part of our growing community or tuning in for the first time, thank you for being here. I love connecting with each and every one of you, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, turn on those notifications so you never miss an update, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from today. Our community truly spans the globe, and I'm always amazed by how we can come together around one common goal: living healthier, more vibrant lives as we age. Now, today's topic might seem simple at first glance, but it holds the power to make a huge impact on your overall health, especially if you're over 45. We're going to talk about proper food storage. That's right. How you store your food can directly affect your digestion, your immune system, your energy levels, and even your ability to absorb essential nutrients. And while this may sound like something small, it's one of those often overlooked details that becomes increasingly important with age. As we get older, our digestive systems naturally become more sensitive, our metabolism may slow down, and our immune responses don't always function with the same efficiency they once did. That means we have to be more mindful, more intentional about how we handle and store the foods we eat every day. Believe it or not, refrigerating certain foods can actually make them harder to digest and strip them of some of their key nutrients. On the flip side, skipping refrigeration for foods that require it can expose you to harmful bacteria that your body may no longer be as equipped to fight off. So today, we're going to cover both sides of the spectrum: the foods you should never refrigerate and those you absolutely must keep cold for safety and nutrition. Let's start with 4 foods that are often refrigerated by mistake, but shouldn't be. These are foods that actually lose their texture, flavor, or health benefits when stored in the fridge. First up, tomatoes. I know it might be second nature to toss tomatoes into the refrigerator as soon as you get home from the grocery store, thinking you're helping them last longer. But cold storage actually damages their cellular structure, causing that grainy, mealy texture that nobody enjoys. As we get older, that kind of texture can also make tomatoes harder to chew and digest. But here's the part that really matters for your long-term health. Cold temperatures reduce the availability of lycopene, a powerful antioxidant in tomatoes that's been shown to support heart health and fight inflammation. For many people over 45, cardiovascular health is a top priority, and eating tomatoes the right way can make a real difference. I remember a patient, let's call her Margaret, who came to me complaining about mild indigestion after eating tomatoes. When I suggested she stop refrigerating them and let them ripen at room temperature instead, she noticed a marked improvement in how they tasted and how they made her feel. The best way to store tomatoes? Keep them at room temperature, out of direct sunlight, ideally in a well-ventilated bowl. If you've already sliced a tomato, refrigerate the leftover pieces and use them within 24 hours. Next, let's talk about bananas. Bananas are one of those go-to snacks for adults. They're portable, naturally sweet, and full of potassium, which is essential for maintaining healthy blood pressure. But as convenient as they are, bananas should not be refrigerated.
Why?
Because cold temperatures interrupt the ripening process, which affects not just the texture and flavor, but also how your body processes them. A properly ripened banana is easier to digest and provides a more balanced energy release, something that's particularly important if you're watching your blood sugar. Bananas also contain compounds with anti-inflammatory properties, which can be especially helpful for those of us managing arthritis, joint stiffness, or other chronic conditions. These compounds develop best in room temperature bananas, and refrigeration can degrade them significantly. So the bottom line? Keep your bananas at room temperature, ideally hanging on a hook or resting in a fruit bowl. If they become overripe, don't toss them, peel them, freeze them in chunks, and use them in smoothies or baking. Now let's move on to olive oil. If you've adopted a Mediterranean-style diet, or are just trying to make heart-healthy choices, olive oil is probably a staple in your kitchen. It's packed with polyphenol, which are compounds that reduce inflammation and help lower bad cholesterol. But did you know that refrigerating olive oil can actually reduce these health benefits? When it's chilled, olive oil becomes cloudy and thick, and repeated temperature fluctuations, like taking it in and out of the fridge, can lead to oxidation. This process diminishes the very properties that make olive oil so beneficial in the first place. Also, Cold storage dulls its flavor and aroma, making your meals less enjoyable. And we all know that when food tastes good, we're more likely to stick with healthy eating habits. So where should you store it? In a cool, dark place like a pantry or cupboard away from your stove. Dark glass bottles are ideal, and try to use up your open bottles within 2 to 3 months to get the full benefit. The last item on our list of foods not to refrigerate is honey. Honey isn't just a natural sweetener, it's a traditional remedy for sore throats, coughs, and even sleepless nights. Many adults use honey as a gentle alternative to over-the-counter medications. But refrigerating honey is a big mistake. It causes honey to crystallize quickly, making it harder to scoop or pour, especially if you have arthritis or hand strength issues. Worse yet, refrigeration can reduce honey's natural enzymes and antimicrobial compounds, which are responsible for its soothing and healing effects. Honey is naturally shelf-stable. It has a low moisture content and an acidic pH, which means it won't spoil. In fact, archaeologists have discovered pots of edible honey in ancient Egyptian tombs. So there's really no need to refrigerate it. Just keep it in a tightly sealed glass jar at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. If it does crystallize, you can gently warm the jar in a bowl of warm water to restore its smooth texture. Never microwave honey that can damage the very nutrients you're trying to preserve. Now that we've covered what not to refrigerate, let's talk about the flip side, foods that absolutely must be kept cold, especially for those of us over 45. As we age, our immune systems naturally become less robust, making us more vulnerable to foodborne illnesses. Storing certain foods properly isn't just about preserving taste or texture. It's about staying safe and protecting your health. First, let's talk about yogurt. Yogurt is a wonderful food for adults. It's rich in calcium for bone health, protein for maintaining muscle mass, and probiotics that support gut health. But all of those benefits go out the window if yogurt isn't kept cold. Once it's left out at room temperature for more than 2 hours, yogurt can become a breeding ground for harmful bacteria like Listeria and Salmonella, which are especially dangerous for adults with underlying conditions like diabetes or kidney disease. And here's another thing. The beneficial live cultures in yogurt, those friendly bacteria that support digestion, begin to die off if the yogurt gets too warm. So always store your yogurt at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, about 4 degrees Celsius, and don't leave it sitting out after serving. When you're grocery shopping, make yogurt one of the last items you put in your cart and refrigerate it as soon as you get home. If you're bringing it to work or on the go, use an insulated container with an ice pack. Next up, eggs. Eggs are an affordable, nutrient-dense food that provide high-quality protein, brain-supporting choline, and eye-protective lutein, nutrients that become more essential with age. But in the US, eggs are washed before they're sold, removing a natural protective coating and making refrigeration necessary to prevent bacteria from entering through the porous shell. For adults over 45, consuming contaminated eggs can lead to serious illness, including severe dehydration and even hospitalization. And since eggs don't usually smell or look spoiled when they're contaminated, you may not even realize there's a problem. To be safe, always store eggs in their original carton in the coldest part of the refrigerator, not in the door where temperatures fluctuate. Keep them at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit and use them within 3 to 5 weeks. And for added safety, cook eggs thoroughly until both the whites and yolks are firm. Let's move on to deli meats. These are popular with adults for good reason. They're soft, require no cooking, and provide quick protein. But they come with serious risks if not stored properly. Deli meats are highly susceptible to Listeria monocytogenes, a bacteria that can grow even in cold temperatures but thrives at room temp. This pathogen is particularly dangerous for older adults and can cause symptoms ranging from muscle aches to neurological complications. What's tricky about deli meats is that they're often handled multiple times, during slicing, packaging, and serving, each an opportunity for contamination. So you have to be extra careful. Keep them in their original packaging or in airtight containers, refrigerated at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Once opened, use them within 3 to 5 days, and never leave them out for more than 30 minutes, especially in warm weather. If you're in a high-risk group or just want extra caution, heat deli meats until they're steaming hot before eating. And finally, berries, those sweet, antioxidant-rich gems that support brain health, boost immunity, and improve digestion. Berries are delicate and spoil easily because of their high water content and thin skin, which makes them particularly susceptible to mold. For adults with sensitive digestive systems, spoiled berries can cause serious discomfort. Plus, refrigeration helps preserve the very compounds like vitamin C and anthocyanins that make berries so powerful for healthy aging. So, here's the best way to store them. Refrigerate berries unwashed in their original container or in a paper towel-lined container that allows airflow. Only wash them right before eating. If you want to store them long-term, freeze clean, dry berries on a baking sheet before transferring them to freezer-safe bags. So, why does all of this matter more after 45? Well, as we age, our bodies go through a number of changes that affect how we handle food. Our immune system weakens, so we're more vulnerable to foodborne pathogens. Digestive enzyme production slows down, meaning improperly stored food may be harder to break down and absorb. Many medications we take in midlife and beyond can also interact with foodborne bacteria or influence how our bodies respond to nutritional deficiencies. And let's not forget, our sense of smell and taste may become less sharp, making it harder to notice if something's spoiled. That's why safe, smart food storage is a form of preventive healthcare. To make things easier, here are a few practical tips. Use the first in, first out rule. Place newer items behind older ones in your fridge and pantry. Label leftovers with the date they were made. Invest in proper containers, glass for refrigerated items, and dark ceramic or glass for pantry staples like olive oil and honey. Monitor temperatures with a refrigerator thermometer and consider your climate. In humid areas, even pantry items may need extra protection from moisture. And finally, store high-risk foods in the coldest parts of your refrigerator, usually the back of the bottom shelf. So, my friends, while food storage may not be the flashiest health topic, it's absolutely one of the most essential, especially as we move through our 40s, 50s, and beyond. By storing your food correctly, you're preserving flavor, maximizing nutrition, protecting your immune system, and supporting digestion, all without adding a single supplement or medication. These small changes really do add up. Before we wrap up, I'd love to know, did any of these tips surprise you? Were you refrigerating honey or storing your eggs in the door? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in a future episode, I'm all ears. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, share it with a friend who might benefit, and subscribe to Dr. Alicia's Med Talk for more practical health advice tailored to those of us embracing life's second act. Until next time, take care of yourself and your kitchen and stay well.